our students and staff to come forward and garland our chief guests. Cancer, because we're on the, in fact, next day's occasion will also be the official launch of Dr. Daushi Shivraja, General Surgeon from Victoria, Fiji National University. She works in the area, able to do that this morning. There is, to invite our official party back onto the stage, if I can, the treatment in terms of multidisciplinary care in this regard. So ladies and gentlemen, again, and I hope that you're looking forward as well to their presentation.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the Honourable Minister for Health and Medical Services, her assistants, the doctors, of course the good doctor who just did the presentation, and the survivors who are here with us, ladies and gentlemen. I do not intend to make a long speech, but just essentially to give our support to this Pinktober initiative. As highlighted by the good doctor earlier on, we can see that in Fiji one of the issues that we do have is that people present their symptoms or present themselves actually to the hospital very late, it would appear, majority of them do that. And I think this is probably one of the problems we are facing, and we need to create a lot of awareness about this. And I'd like to, of course, acknowledge the work that the Fiji Cancer Society does. The reality in Fiji is that we tend to sometimes depend on traditional medicine, traditional ways of dealing with perhaps certain lumps that may appear in our body, and we get somebody to massage it, or we may be a bit shy or mandua, or it's seen as taboo to actually go and see other people about it. And I think we need to be able to get over those constraints that we actually place upon ourselves individually, but also as a society. Generally, people previously did not talk very openly about breast cancer. And if you talked about female body parts, it was something you got shy of. In the same way, people that don't necessarily talk about prostate cancer, because it's something that you get shy about and you don't openly talk about it. You don't want somebody to go and touch your breast. But of course, there are new ways of dealing with it, new ways to use you yourself to actually identify that you may have something amiss, and you have ways of actually, detecting any nodes that may appear yourself. And we need to, I think all of us in this room need to create that awareness, through individually, through your profession, of course, those of you who may not be professionals as such, but also, with your family and your friends, because you can see the cost of the cancer can be quite prohibitive. Prohibitive in the sense that it restricts you individually to grow as a person. You may be at the height of your career, you may be at your home, you may be in your profession, you may be somebody who's doing caregiving, both to your children or your family and other members. And suddenly your entire life can actually come to a halt because you have actually got this illness. So that level of productivity and the cost actually not only you bear personally, but also the country bears, those around you, the family members, the way you work, etc. We lose that. Of course, then it becomes also a cost to the medical health system. And as you can see by the good doctor's presentation, in order for us to be able to deal with such illnesses, we need to have a lot more sophisticated approach to medical care. We need to have a more sophisticated approach to, for example, finding out why things have happened, and be able to collect data, because one of the issues that we have had in Fiji is we are not very good at collecting data. We're not very good at collecting information and actually storing that information and doing analysis of it to be able to find particular trends, trends, not just trends in respect of who is it happening to. We may find out where it is happening from, what are the sort of hormonal issues that people are facing. Are people of a particular hormonal strain a lot more susceptible to it? Are we being influenced, for example, perhaps by the food that we're eating, or the environment that we live in? All of these things actually do matter. And the only way we can actually carry out such analysis and be able to perhaps put in place some preventative measures is if we have good data. If we're able to collect data, be able to analyze data. And of course it means that we need to be able to, as government, be able to provide the right level of personnel, and indeed the right personnel in the different specific areas and the specialist areas, to be able to ensure that we take a very safe approach to it, to be able to ensure that we take a very professional approach to dealing with this issue. So ladies and gentlemen, my one single message would be today is that all of us in this room need to be able to create that, that awareness amongst everybody that we meet, as a professional, as a non-professional, whether you're in the medical field or not in the medical field, because we need more people to come out. It's not just, for example, I know it's about breast cancer, but generally we find also in other areas of illnesses in Fiji, we tend to present ourselves much later on to the doctors in the hospitals. And that obviously sometimes, people have expectations that once they go to the hospital, the doctors will fix everything up. Doctors are only human beings. If you go too late to them, even they cannot prevent it. Of course, if you go too late also, there are certain prohibitions that we have in respect of the sophisticated care that we can provide in Fiji. So, advanced chemotherapy, etc. may not be available, and the radiation may not be available in Fiji. So we have to send people overseas. Again, it's not just a cost issue, but also in respect of the family support. I mean, if you go away overseas and you need treatment, you may not have all the family members around as you would if you were in Fiji. So again, the sort of psychology of it, that emotional strain, again becomes very, very demanding. So, we need to think about these issues. We need to be able to tell ourselves as individuals, if you have not had cancer, tell yourself that if you find any symptoms, you'll deal with it early. Some people may, say, okay, I want to deal with some traditional medicine. But please, you can do that simultaneously by coming and seeing a doctor too at the same time. Don't just depend on one, and when the traditional medicine does not work, then only you come to the doctors. So I think it's very important for us to be able to have that level of heightened level of awareness if we are able to deal with this problem seriously. So I'd like to, of course, thank everybody who are here. Government, of course, is trying its best to provide the medical facilities. As you know, we're entering into a public-private partnership in the Lautoka and Ba hospitals. One of the conditions laid over there is that the hospital or medical provider that will come in needs to provide, for example, advanced radiation, chemotherapy, and related areas of oncology, etc. So we'll see by early next year a new level of medical services being provided in Fiji. And for many of the services that we currently need to go overseas, we will not need to go overseas, which again is quite a good situation to be in, because your family members will be around you. Even though you may be in Suva, you may only have to travel to Lautoka, which is not like going overseas and getting new passports, new environment, and indeed a strange environment for some people too. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the organizers of this. I'd like to thank the minister and her assistant minister, the good doctors who are here, the Fiji Cancer Society. Let's all sort of bond together, gel together to be able to tackle with this issue. Unfortunately, MC, I have to leave. I have to go to the funeral service of Mr. Jay Narayan, which who passed away as the principal of Jay Narayan College, and I have to be there in 5 minutes' time. So I wish you all the best, and thank you very much for your attendance.